Now, having covered this ST with certain points that I wanted to raise, really, I would say look at this and look how it is. هكذا يظهر كوكب الأرض تتراءى لنا من الفضاء. يعني الأرض تتراءى لنا، نراها، يعني هي تظهر لنا وليست تتراءى. متميزة بصفتين، الكوكب متميزا، إذا كان عم نحكي على الكوكب ربما يكون متميزا بصفتين، two and not صفة واحدة as in the original text that you come across earlier. and also بصفتين، وهما هذان الصفتين؟ زرقة مياه بحوره ومحيطاته وبياض سحبه. These are the two characteristics, main characteristics. As for بلورة عتيقة, there is no need for all this blue, and because we can put that, we already put that in the, we don't need to do that really, so we remove that from this. And then الأجرام الفضائية, it's الأجرام في مجموعتنا الشمسية فقط, and not in all of the universe, all the objects in the universe. Okay. Then بمقومات الحياة, of course الحياة الطبيعية يعني الحياة والحياة الطبيعية is the same. But there's no harm in this addition. This is a justified addition. التي يوفرها الغلاف الجوي, غلافنا الجوي أو الغلاف الجوي. Okay, غلاف الجوي الذي يتألف من عنصري النيتروجين والأكسجين. As for the rest, which is مما يعزز, there is no need for all this to be added here. كما أنه يقودنا لاستنتاج أن الأرض هو الكوكب الوحيد القادر على احتضان الحياة دون كل الكواكب مجموعتنا الشمسية. I don't think this addition is necessary. You've already said حياة الطبيعية. Why all this addition? It's not necessary at all. It has made this text, the text, the writer has made it into like he's created. It's a female translator, by the way, but she has created this kind of addition, which is unnecessary, really. We're just adding more and more about الحياة الطبيعية, which is on Earth, which has already been mentioned. And then we move on. I like the word مدار إهليلجي, which means that the translator knows more. Orbital, which is not oval orbit. I think the word oval is not necessary, but there's no harm in adding it. So that's okay. But then we have تقدر بحوالة. I don't think بحوالة, it's not around. It says 149. It's not around 149. It is the average, exactly 149. This is what the original text has told us. So we need to keep to that. We cannot change it and say around. And then we have to say وهي الكوكب الثاني في ترتيب الكواكب الأقرب إلى الشمس, which is excellent, because الأقرب إلى الشمس is saying that the Earth is the nearest, third nearest to the Sun, which is excellent kind of addition by the translator. Here, of course, I'm providing a critique rather than a criticism of the translator, and that is really what we need to be doing, and not rather worry about the additions sometimes. But then I don't know whether that's a correct the addition of saying that the Earth is in the middle of the planets in the solar system. It's not in the middle, and also this addition is not correct, factually speaking. So it's not in the middle. If we are to consider, it's 9, and if it is the third, if the Earth is the third, it can't be the middle. So I don't know why the translator has added this for no reason. And this is a published translation. And then we move on to في النظام ذاته. I think because I've crossed out this part, I've added في النظام الشمسي in the second one when I was correcting it or trying to give a correction of it. Now here is more, and again here it's a matter of some of the work that's done. It is we need to be grateful to the translator. She's done a very good job. I know there are lots of corrections, but doesn't mean that it is a terrible translation, but it needs to be moved up a little bit, or fine-tuning. This is kind of fine-tuning to the text. And you can see here, it says here, there is magnetic حقل مغناطيسي ناتج عن تدافع قوتين متضادتين, two opposing powers in two different ways and in the same amount. I think this kind of addition is not necessary. We will only just say قوتان عن تدافع قوة الدوران السريع للأرض من جهة وقوة انصهار مادتي النيكل والحديد من جهة أخرى. That will be enough. Also, you see here when it says مواد, I said مادتين, two substances and not many. The problem is in the English they don't differentiate between dual and plural for the substance or the material of nickel and iron, but in Arabic we do. We have the dual and we have the plural. And then we move on. ترسلها الكواكب الأخرى القريبة إلى الأرض. It's not الكواكب اللي بترسل الأشعة الضارة. It is actually النجوم. According to the original text, it says the stars and not the planets. And as I said before, the stars are the ones that produce light, whereas planets are the ones that reflect light. So therefore, that is an error which is unjustifiable, which is unnecessary and not needed. So it needs to be removed definitely. This correction needs to be done, and we need to show that this is. Now, if the translator is trying to actually put more information as قوتين متضادتين and متساويتين في المقدار, which is a very scientific information here, adding to the text, yet a very important mentioned scientific fact is being misrepresented, that is really problematic. Translators should be very careful. Make sure to convey the original text properly and correctly. إذا ترسلها النجوم الأخرى إلى الأرض. ترسلها النجوم الأخرى إلى الأرض. كانت قريبة أو بعيدة. نحن ما بنعرف إذا قريبة ولا بعيدة. We don't know whether these stars are close or not. I don't know whether the English says that, but we can always go back to that. But it says the other stars to Earth. ترسلها إلى الأرض. يعني الأشعة. إذ يعمل المجال المغناطيسي على حجب الجسيمات المشحونة المنبعثة باتجاه الأرض لأن بعض الجسيمات تلحق الأذى بالخلايا الحية. This whole information is unnecessary. Why do you add all this information? You can have that as a footnote, but not in the text. You know, there is what's called paratextuality, which is adding to the text with the footnotes, but not inside the text. It has made it appear that this is the original text saying this, but this is not what the original text is saying about the magnetic field stopping some of the objects that are brought from the sun to the earth or sent from the sun to earth, and that some of them are affecting the life or the living cells. But you know, I mean, this addition is really unnecessary. And then we have another addition here, which is ولكننا نستطيع أن نفسر ما تم اكتشافه من الفجوات. I don't think we need to say that. We just say there are اصطدامات, and these اصطدامات التي من المرجح أنها حصلت هذه الاصطدامات بعد فترة من الوجه. There is no need for this information again. You know, فجوات سطحية أو عميقة. It didn't say that in the original. And this is another issue when it comes to adding. You have to be careful. I mean, it becomes like too much addition. Really, that's unjustifiable. Then للأرض قمر وحيد وهو قمرنا الذي نراه يسطع ضوءه ليلا في السماء الذي نراه يسطع ضوءه okay. This is really a lot of additions. طبعا of course قمرنا الوحيد أو القمر الوحيد الطبيعي, if we are to be, because it says natural satellite, as opposed to other satellites which are man-made, artificial satellites. Okay, sometimes they call them السواتل التي هي سواتل أو الأقمار الصناعية. هذا قمر طبيعي. But anyway, I'm just giving you this kind of information to be aware of this kind of amount of additions that are unjustifiable and not paying attention to the detail, you have to have an eye to detail. Now, this does not mean that this translator, we have to just really be very harsh on them. We need to highlight how good it is in terms of the amount of information that's being written and produced. So there's a lot of positive points there as well. Now, of course, now having done that, I'm going to stop here. I'm just going to move on now to more analysis in terms of theory to relate or to reflect on it and what has happened in this particular ST and TT.